Utah Puck Report. It's time for another Captain's Log. Stardate 11/5/2025. Can you freaking believe that it's November? And can you believe that 2-1 win last night? I don't know if you saw Captain's Log yesterday. I know some people had trouble. It didn't show up on everybody's notification that the podcast was out there. But I said the one thing I really hope doesn't happen is that we play Alex Lyon again. He's been looking sharp. I don't know how this guy's on a different team every year. He's just been looking really sharp. So we talk about no scoring till the third period. Schmaltz, Keller, Marino come out and break the ice there. And then 4 minutes later, Utah gives up this scramble goal to Oslin, which looked a lot like the Yanni Gourde goal from the Tampa game, where we have some confusion on the defensive end, which is weird because last night it was Sergachev and Simachev on the ice, and you see them scrambling on where the puck went, who do I pick up? And in the Tampa game, you saw that it was Sergachev and Marino on the ice. Marino had just gotten on. They hadn't had a full D-line change yet. And you see the scramble and you see the goal given up. And it's just weird because it gives you flashbacks to when the team wasn't that great. But then they recover. If you look at the game and you play it period by period, it's just complete domination by Utah. A great opportunity. Like, they stayed out of the penalty box, which we talked about a lot. The second period, we keep talking about the second period for Utah and how dominant they need to be in the second period. Obviously they need 60 minutes, right? But the second period has been the weak spot, the Achilles heel for Utah. But not last night, man. The shots 15-5. Buffalo took 2 penalties in the second period. But let's check in from the post-game interview last night, and let's see what let's actually start with Veggie and what he thought of last night's game. And I want to talk about the Veggie thing. How cool the amazing glove save he made in overtime. Unbelievable glove save. And I'll tell you what, when you throw that Statue of Liberty, you flash that leather, and you kind of want to hold on to it to rub it into somebody's face. But Sergei's like, no, drop it, let's play it. Drop it, let's play it. So he makes this huge play. Then Veggie drops the puck. Sergei picks it up, passes it to Keller. You get the game-winning goal in overtime with the assist going to Sergachev, whose brilliant idea it was, who also kind of set a little bit of a pick for Keller to get open when he went in for the game winner. And then it's awesome to see Veggie pick up that assist as well. So let's check in and hear from what Veggie had to say after the game, and we'll go from there.
This game started, obviously, it wasn't what you guys wanted to start with, and you got tested very early. Can you walk me through the first period mentality that you had to have?
Yeah, obviously it wasn't a good start, but we expected pressure, and I just try to focus for myself, for what I have to do. It was fun to play. Actually, it was a fun game, but we gotta get better for next game, especially at the start of the game.
Keller mentioned that you had some communication to him to let him know where he needed to go for that goal and got an assist tonight. Can you walk me through that goal and the game winner?
Obviously, they had a scoring chance from the slot, and I just, I thought I gonna freeze it, but they asked for that, so it was quick play. It was no brainer for me. So it was good communication from them for sure.
How do you stay calm when there's so many rebound opportunities and a flurry in front of you?
Well, it's all about stay sharp mentally and just be ready for another shot. It's simple as that. But obviously, I didn't have that much shot, but it was a good game. But we need to be a little bit better defensively.
How do games like this, especially wins like this, help this group keep learning, keep growing, keep maturing from these close ones?
I think we learned a lot tonight. It was a big battle for us. So obviously, it wasn't an easy game at all. So we just need to keep building on it and just have that good habits and just keep it up.
How does a game like today help your confidence?
Obviously, pretty well actually. After 2 losses, we just needed to bounce back and just get another win, especially on the road. So we started pretty well, and it's a first game from like four road games, so it's a good start.
All right, so you hear Veggie talk a little bit about his confidence, and I've talked about it in a few shows before. I've seen a lot more confidence with his aggressiveness. Let's call it aggressiveness, and his save selection for goaltenders, and it's huge. He's very similar to how he was last year, except for he's a little bit more aggressive. He challenges out further, and he walks with shooters further, which is a good thing for the most part. Sometimes it gets you scrambling a bit. It's the biggest plus for Jonathan Quick, and it's also the biggest negative for Jonathan Quick, is sometimes he's so aggressive that he chases the shooter so far out, which is your job as the goalie. Your number one job as a goalie is to take the shooter and let the defense pick up the pass. So pluses and minuses for sure. And then I want to talk about it a little bit because I've seen a lot of stuff online, people very upset that we didn't challenge the goal that was scored. I'm going to explain the rule to you so that you understand the high sticking rule. There are two separate standards of a high stick. When you're playing the puck either down to yourself or even passing it out of the air to your other forward, like we saw in that goal, the rule is shoulder height. Now, if you're scoring the goal, which you directly bat the puck out of the air into the goal, the measurement is the crossbar, which is 4 feet high. So the two different measurements, two quick plays, both very legal. The play behind the net to knock the puck down was below shoulder length, completely legal. And then the goal was obviously legal as well. My advice is just if Bear doesn't challenge it, know that it's probably not goalie interference or a high stick or a missed whistle. So none of those things were challengeable and not challenged. So just in Bear we trust, right? Like he's pretty dialed in with the rules. Also on the other rule, like on the goal, yeah, Kraus poked in. Normally you would like to see the defenseman feed whoever, speared your goaltender or speared through your goaltender. You'd like to see him feed him at least a couple knuckles. So if that had happened on our side and somebody pitched through on Veggie like that as he tried to cover the puck and it went in, we'd be angry that they got away with touching our goaltender. So both of those goals that I see you guys arguing about online, they were within the rules. They were good plays. They were called correctly. So I hope that helps explain it. If you feel like I didn't explain it right, feel free to chirp me online. I'm always down to being chirped. So we get back to talking about the second period. Shots were 15-5 for Utah, like I said. Buffalo took 2 penalties. Utah took none. Alex Lyon finished the game with a 94% save average. Total shots, 35 for Utah, 18 for Buffalo. Pretty crazy game. And let's get in to see what Captain Keller thought about the game and his thoughts on how everything went.
So, one thing I didn't ask you in that postgame was just the fact that you guys are starting this road trip off strong, but also effectively not letting any of those, the 2 losses roll over into this one.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that we talked about is, not letting these, weird things creep into our game, just little mistakes. And, we had a good video and kind of broke it down and, great response by the guys. Everyone played hard. All 4 lines chipped in, made a difference tonight.
There were plenty of moments where some of your teammates chipped in, like you just mentioned. What were some of those moments you want to highlight?
I think timely saves by Veg. I thought Karks was really good tonight. He's got a lot of speed and he's very effective when he uses it. Teams back off. I think, everyone had an impact tonight. Ultimately that's why we got the win.
A lot of really good chances on the power play as well. Although they didn't go in, it was a lot against one of the best penalty kills in the league. What were you seeing out of that movement?
Yeah, I think our power play started to, turn the corner and, be effective like we were last year. I think, chemistry takes time sometimes, and I think, we've watched a lot of video and we've talked a lot about it, and, we're doing the right things. We had, some really good looks tonight, and, we're going to continue to, do that and, get better each day, and, those will go in for sure.
Staying patient in that game, Schmaltzy scoring in the third period. What did you like out of the team's just ability to keep generating shots in the second and stick with it through the third?
Yeah, we just kept going no matter what. Their goalie played awesome tonight, and I think that's the biggest thing is when you're getting chances, you got to stay positive no matter how pissed off you are. And it's very hard to do, but I think that's the maturity in our team, and everyone as an individual has gotten so much better at.
Is there more to the maturity than just what you're seeing from this group as it comes to the emotional factor, especially in games that are this close that late in the game?
Yeah, for sure. I think, I've said it a couple times, but just, our mindset on the bench is just like night and day compared to, even just last year. And, we worked at it a ton, and just, I think, a lot of guys that we've added, helps a lot. We have a lot of great leadership on this team that calm us down and, keep you, in the game when things go, crazy.
All right, so great mention on the team's new maturity and where we are from where we were last year as a team. The Mammoth have grown a ton. Obviously, they've added a lot more veteran leadership. Now it's not just Ian Cole and Sergachev back there. You got, even with the additions that they made this year, with even Peterka, who doesn't have a cup yet, and Nate Schmidt. Obviously, you got to talk about Nate Schmidt's influence back there. There's more maturity. There's more anticipation of as you get tied up and you're like, hey, we've been here before. We're going to be fine. And just having that leadership helps a ton, especially in an emotional game like last night. The return of J.J. Peterka to Buffalo since he asked for the trade. That's another thing I saw. People were wondering why he was being booed because he was traded and he didn't leave in free agency. Well, he asked for the trade, so a lot of Buffalo fans felt betrayed by that. So that's why they were booing him. My interactions with that kid, I'll tell you what, there's not a negative thing about him as far as I've seen or as far as I've seen on the ice. He's brilliant. And, it's tough for me as an old school hockey guy to give up a guy like Doan. And I love Kesselring too, but Doan is old school hockey. And he's going to be a physical force up front, as you're seeing for Buffalo. You're seeing the success for him. So emotional return for JJ to go into Buffalo. And then on November 12th, we're going to have the flip side when we get Kesselring and Doan back at Delta Center as Buffalo comes to Utah. And let's just talk a little bit more about the maturity and see what the coach seems to have thought of the game.
Hell of a game from everybody. Our four lines, our 6D, our goalie were really good. I think there's a lot of stuff we were talking about lately. Our gap, our reloading, our poise with the puck, our battle down low, our possession in the zone, making good plays, going at the net. Really proud of the way the boys played.
How do you balance the stuff that you want to clean up versus the grittiness and the urgency and the things that you are liking and you're seeing out of this group, especially in a tough, close game like that?
Yeah, but you know what? Hockey, you cannot be perfect. And it will be easy to come here and talk about the 5, 6, 10 plays where that could have cost us. It's true, but it will be like that every game. We'll never be perfect. Obviously, like you said, there's a few things we can control a little bit better. But there's so much goodness tonight. I don't want to waste my time on what we did wrong. The biggest challenge for us is, okay, we're really proud, but doesn't mean anything anymore. We need to use the midnight rule, and we need to turn around and be ready for tomorrow, because how we play today, that won't help us tomorrow at 7 p.m.
One of those good things was not allowing a shot on goal for the last 12 minutes of that game from the Sabres. The fact that that's the case, but also late in the game and mentally checking in. What are you seeing from your guys talking to each other?
Yeah, they didn't give a shot, but as well, we were playing with the puck, and we're not taking risks. We were reloading. We're doing all the right thing. Honestly, we were really the focus, the intensity mentally was second to none.
There wasn't a goal on the power play, but there was a lot of good movement. There's some really good chances. What did you see out of your team against one of the best penalty kills in the league?
Yeah, they did a really good job. They had great chance. We had great looks. We had great opportunity. I think that was really good.
Yeah, that was one of the surprising things. With as bad as Buffalo has been, their penalty kill is number 1 in the NHL. So, using the midnight rule, let's get right into the Toronto game. No rest for the wicked or for the weary. Utah's in Toronto tonight to face Austin Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto 7-5-1, 4-1 in their last 5. And, some old friends are popping up again. We got our old friend Mateus Picelli. He's played 12 games this year, healthy scratch in their last game, but he has 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points on the year. And then Clayton Keller, one of his best friends and who he trains with all summer, is Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews is just doing what Austin Matthews does. 13 games, 7 goals, 4 assists already. So Austin's ready for tonight. And let's see what Keller has to say about playing against his buddy here.
Tonight you're facing someone that you train with in the summer sometimes, Austin Matthews, someone you played with on Team USA. What are some of the things that you guys have observed from each other's games over the years?
I think a lot, honestly. I think, just kind of bouncing ideas off each other. Both of us really love the game, working on our game in the summer. We skate a lot, and it's great to, have that relationship, and, especially I can learn a lot from him. How he shoots and the different things he's looking at and things like that. So I think it's really helped out my game a lot.
This team has talked about the mindset about staying even-keeled, not getting too high from wins, putting in the past wins the next day. What's the attitude going into tonight's game in Toronto?
Yeah, I think, like your coach said, you enjoy the win for, a couple of minutes and then turn the page. It's, quick turnaround here, so we're super excited. It's awesome to play here. A lot of guys are from here. A lot of guys are fired up to play here, and me as well. So super excited for the game.
Clayton, you've obviously been at it with this group for many years and building. I mean, how did you approach the season in terms of making sure this team can raise its ceiling and sustain the start you've had now?
Yeah, I think just ever since day one of training camp, there was a different feel around our team. We were more settled in Utah, and just our group as a whole has gotten so much better year after year, and our young guys have made such a big step in a quick amount of time, like quicker than most young guys would take, and just there's a good beat about our team right now, and we're having fun, we're working for each other, and we're a really close group, so we just want to do everything we can to win.
What's your young guys stand out to you?
What's that?
Which ones surprised you the most or stood out in terms
I mean,
of like taking a jump?
all of them, honestly. Like Gunnar, Cools, JJ's been here for a little bit. Semishev has looked unbelievable since training camp. Like, can't believe he's only 19. Like, they've all just looked so good and love the game and are huge pieces of our team. And we're asking a lot out of them, and they've definitely delivered. And it's super fun to play with those guys.
And again, I have to apologize about the volume on that. That's the level of volume I get from the Utah Mammoth. So I'm sorry that you have to turn up your radio or your headphones or whatever you listen to me through or watch me through. I'm working on it. I'm working on it on my end. But a couple good things I talked about there. First off, it's cool that Clayton Keller, he's kind of an Arizona guy, and Austin Matthews, born and raised in Arizona. And they train together. They work a lot together. And Austin has kind of been teaching Keller some stuff, and I'm sure Keller's been teaching Austin some stuff. And that's how they grow, and that's how they get better. And here they are. They got to face off against each other. So let's talk about the stats by period. We talked about it a little bit in the last episode about the discrepancy in Utah's scoring. So in the first period so far this year, Utah has 14 goals, 11 in the second period, and 16 in the third period. And now they have 3 overtime goals. Huge. So no overtime losses yet. The Toronto Maple Leafs, kind of similar. 12 goals in the first period, 11 goals in the second period. So identical to Utah. But man, they come out 22 goals in the third period, 2 overtime goals. They've lost 1 game in overtime. But shots, the Utah Mammoth they've had 123 shots so far in first periods, 143 shots in second periods, and 35 of those being the other night, or 18 of those, whatever. But and then 118 in the third period. So let me just double check my stats here. It was 15 in the second period last game. So they're getting better in the second period. You're seeing more maturity out of the team. You're seeing the things get to where we wanted them to be. And looking at our team leaders right now, you've got Schmaltz with 18 points, Keller with 14, Cooley with 12. Schmaltz is leading with goals. Well, Schmaltz and Cooley actually both have 8 goals. And on the other side, it's Nylander, Tavares, and Nice. Nylander's got 18 points so far. Tavares 16 and Nice was 16. And Austin Matthews leads the team with 7 goals. So if you want to talk about goaltender matchups a little bit, it gets a little interesting because I would not be surprised if we see Vanacek tonight. So Vanacek has played 6 games so far. He has the 1 win, 3 losses, 1 overtime loss. 2.91 goals against, and an 88% save average. So with a back-to-back, I wouldn't be surprised to see Vanacek, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see if Veggie goes again. Last night helps Veggie's stats a little bit. In 6 games played, 3 wins, 2 losses, one. He's 2.97. Those are his stats against Tampa, or against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Current stats. Let me give you the current stats. I don't know why the stats were messed up like that. Let me give you actual stats here. Stolarz will probably be going for Toronto. He's played 10 games so far this year, averages 3.12 goals against, has 5 wins, 4 losses, with an 89% save average. So a little less than you expect. Veggie's been great this year. 7 wins, 3 losses this whole season. But he's at an 89% save average, 26 goals against so far this year. So that's it. Big game tonight. Coach is going to be excited about it. Let's see what Coach had to say about tonight's game.
Coach, coming into this, I mean, this is a great opportunity for this team to keep stringing along some wins. You were happy with some of the things last night. What do you want to bring into that game plan from last night into tonight?
Well, first of all, we have to turn the page. Toronto is a really good team of the forecheck and of the rush. So the way we play in the neutral zone to limit their time and space and apply as much pressure on them so they can have good puck placement and use their forecheck or having easy entry. So it's a good league, and every night you need to bring your A game, so we need to turn the page, which I'm happy about the discussion we had with the boys this morning. I think we're tuning in.
What do you look for to make sure that is a strong start? What are the keys, I guess, coming off the back-to-back?
Yeah, I think we made a good step forward yesterday at the way we played the rush against. I think our gap was good and our neutral zone play is good. Buffalo has a lot of speed, especially from their D, so we did a good job on that. So we need to build off it and making sure we don't allow them to build speed through neutral zone. Like I said, their forecheck will depend on it, and same thing of their rush. So the way we'll play in the neutral zone will dictate a lot.
You feel teams a little different in the way they approach you now, that it feels like you guys have taken a step as a franchise?
Yeah, I will say it started last year. I think you see in the matchup, you see in the prop, you see in the adjustment. It's different. It's where we want to be, I guess. But yeah, it's different. But I think we're better equipped. We have 9 Stanley Cup in our room. Those guys been through that. It's not the first time they play against an opponent who has a game plan against them. So I think that the team is more equipped now.
The Leafs are honoring John Tavares tonight. He scored his 500th goal recently. I mean, do you have any thoughts on his career, of what you've seen from him over the years?
I had the privilege to coach him during the World Championship, and what a pro. What a guy who's his preparation, his effort, his focus is elite every night. So it's great to see a guy who's that talented, who take the game so seriously and bring it to another level. I think I like to see those athletes when they're so committed and successful. That's a great story.
Nick Schmaltz has been a good player for a long time, but this year seems to have taken his game even to another level. What are you seeing that is allowing that to happen?
I think there's a lot of component to that. I think first, I think his line playing really good. Second, his effort, his inside game, his reload game, is both sides of the puck. Like he produces offensively, but he does a lot of good things defensively as well. So really proud of him for that as well. I think we're more balanced as a team, so that balanced the coverage a little bit. So that helped a little bit of everybody. So that is probably one of the reasons. But his focus, his consistency so far is elite.
When you get on the road with your Cooley line, like do you feel that you need to manage their matchups, or are you at this point with them, it's just
when we played at home, I played them against McKinnon and I played them against Kucherov, so they cannot go against way worse on the road so far. So defensively, they're really good. They, Gunnar and Cools, they're guys who are really good read defensively. And I will say the progression of Peterka since the start of the season and his commitment defensively and his detail he improved a lot. So proud of him for that. So I'm not hiding them at all.
Maybe the answer is just those 9 Stanley Cups you mentioned, but as a coaching staff, you've been at it with this team for a while. I mean, how did you approach the season to make sure they kept pushing the ceiling higher?
Yeah, that's a big theme for us this year. I think we talked a lot last year about, we were in a lot of games. We were, by our plays or our underlying numbers, or call it the way you want, and we're right there. But sometimes there's a little bit of a mismanagement or a little bit of lack of patience or stuff like that who cost us a lot. So we talk a lot about experience, youth, and stuff. You cannot buy experience. You need to go through. Your parents can tell you all your life, you don't do that or be careful of this. When you go through it, it's just to realize, mom was right or dad was right, but that's just the way it is. So they needed to go through it. But so I think we're more, like I said, we're more equipped because we have more experience, not just from those 9 Stanley Cup and those our great veterans, but even our young guys who lived it last year saying, hey, we dominate, but because of those 3 play in the game, we end up on the wrong side of it. So I think that was maybe a tough pill to swallow at the time, but now we took our medicine and we learned from it. And it's not over, but we've been through some battle scar, and that helped now.
Yeah, I hope that really stands out. Matt, first off, I hope you could hear that. But I hope that comment really stands out where he talks about, well, first off, he's not hiding the Peterka, Cooley, Gunther line. You'd like to think like, that's line 2, so you want to keep them out. Maybe they're so young, maybe they're not defensively reliable. And he's like, no, I played him against McKinnon. I played him against Kucherov. I played him against the best line so far in the NHL. We're not hiding them anymore. Everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows who Peterka, Cooley, and Gunnar are. That's our line 2. You got Keller, Hayton, and Schmaltz. Now, who's going to balance up against that? How do you line that up? That's where Utah's strength is. And he talks about how, last year, maybe they forgot their patience. Maybe they pinched when they shouldn't have pinched, or they were too aggressive when they shouldn't have been. And you've just got to let them learn it. There's no better coach than the game. There's no better teacher than the game. And so, just like he said, like Coach Bear said, I love a lot of his analogies. So your parents would tell you not to do something, and then you'd go do it, and then you'd be like, oh, my parents were right. Sometimes you just got to learn it for yourself. So tonight, Utah, the Mammoth, are in Toronto to take on the legendary 06 Toronto Maple Leafs, the original 6 team. It's just fun to see. We're going to see what happens. I still say Utah wins this. I think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring. I'm going to go with a 5-3. I'm going with 5-3 Utah. If you don't believe me, put yours in the comments. Put whatever you want in the comments. Let me know if there's more questions you want me to ask, who you want me to interview, how you want these things to go. I got comments already on my new Tucson Roadrunner shirt. Everybody liked that. You can order that. I love it too. Pretty cool that they went with that retro logo to paying homage to Arizona. It sucks that Arizona doesn't have a team, but we're all excited that we have a team. Also, I'm going to promote it again. I've got a big thing coming up. We're going to have a sweet party. I got a suite at the Delta Center for the last regular season game of the year against St. Louis. It comes with dinner. It comes with drinks. It comes with dessert. All you can drink. Whatever you drink will be in there. And dinner, dessert, snacks, drinks, sweet. You can't really see the goal that close to you, but you can still see it. You're in the building. You're having a party. So let's have a big party. More information coming up soon. Plus, I'm going to be giving some of those tickets away. Utah at Toronto happens tonight. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow with the next Captain's Log. But for today, that's it. That is the Utah Puck Report and this version of the Captain's Log.